That's 2463.
Yeah, there's an awful lot to talk about. Now, let me warn you that on this show, I don't have a monologue that I do. I don't have all that kind of stuff. I just try to talk about whatever the news of the day is and the news that does or should concern all of us. And there's an awful lot of that going on today, whether it's the uh, Kavanaugh Supreme Court hearings or whatever else is going on. There's an awful lot going on out there that should concern each and every freedom-loving American out there.
Those aren't
Uh,
really hearings. First of all, he'll probably be approved, and second of all, it's a circus.
yeah,
They're
and
making fools out of themselves.
I think what you hear from the news media mostly is my goodness, Donald Trump waved goodbye at a crossing guard back in 17 years ago or something. Some Mickey Mouse kind of something that don't mean nothing about nothing. But you don't hear about some Democrats wanting open borders. You don't hear about Antifa chanting a new slogan that says,
No borders, no walls, no USA at all?
yeah,
That one?
yeah.
That's the one you love, right?
oh, I'm just really thrilled
Tickled with
about
it,
it. And if you want to destroy America, well, just keep chanting that slogan. That'll tell everybody whose side you're on. Uh,
I loved how Obama popped up out of the woodwork yesterday, too.
well, believe it or not, there are people in this country, and I hate to call them stupid, but are they uninformed? Are they part of the ignorant masses? What are they that still support Barack Obama? What kind of people do that?
And just an FYI, audience, we may be having some trouble if you're trying to listen to this on your radio and you're getting some possible static. Maybe the online streamers can receive it better right now. They think maybe it's been hit by lightning. They're working on trying to figure it all out. So we'll have this up on our Facebook page so you can listen to a recap of it.
Well, in the meantime, I'm just going to keep on talking. So, except when we got a phone call, and I think we just got one. So, y'all hang on, and we'll.
Well, were there? Oh, you got a call
We
up?
got a caller, I think. Yes, caller, go ahead. I'm off the air. Okay, that's what I'm hearing some of, but they're working on it, trying to fix it.
They think maybe we got hit by lightning.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, I could hear the McClure show loud and clear.
Just came on.
So, anyway,
Okay, thank you.
I would apologize for all the static, but
Okay, we're on the air now.
it's what now?
Have a caller. I mean, a caller that just called in saying that we're on the air now.
Okay, I guess we're on the air now. Can you hear me? Okay. If you got something to say, tell us what it is. Oh, okay, good. Well, we appreciate that. You be careful out there. Okay, I guess we're back on the air, folks. Like I say, if you got something to say, well, give us a holler. The number is 254-773-1400. There's an awful lot to talk about and discuss and consider today. Look at the Kavanaugh hearings where they're grilling him about being on the Supreme Court. Look at the excuses they're finding to pick at him. This, by all accounts, is a very, very fine judge on the appeals court. He's been on there 12 years, done hundreds and hundreds of decisions. Everybody that I have heard talk about him says he is a exemplary justice and would be excellent on the Supreme Court. So why are the Democrats trying so hard to come up with any kind of a little Mickey Mouse excuse to try to stop him. Why is that? Are they interested in preserving the Republic of the United States, or do they only want to destroy the country? That's my question. What is their goal? What is their purpose? What do they want to achieve for America? Or do they just want to destroy it? Now, let's remember what Obama said when he first ran for presidency. And I'm quoting what he said. He said, "I want to fundamentally change America." What does that mean? And people by the thousands or millions voted for that guy. And he just stated he wanted to fundamentally change America. That means start from the foundation and destroy everything here is what he wanted to do. And he proceeded to try to do that. Now he's out speaking at the university in Illinois, and he's taking credit for the good economy that Donald Trump created.
Well, he should take credit, because he helped Hillary not get elected, and got Trump in office. So, Trump's made it all happen, and he's taking credit for putting Trump there, maybe.
It just proves the point that I said before. He's just a lying dog. The truth don't mean anything to him.
No.
The truth is meaningless to Barack Obama and to many of the Democrats. There are some good Democrats out there that still honor a thing called truth, but a huge portion of them, they don't care what they have to lie about or what kind of story they have to make up to criticize Donald Trump and the Republican Party.
Well, let's get down to some real lies that Obama was putting out yesterday.
Yeah.
He was talking about how, people in Trump's administration were not liking what Trump was doing, working behind his back, his resistance, this and this and that. And, this kind of just shows what kind of man Trump is and what they think of him, et cetera, et cetera. And people, you have to understand, I'm very snarky and sarcastic. So, but in 2013, Obama wrote an executive order 13587, which was Obama's insider threat program, and multitudes of things that it contained in it, one of which was just the most ridiculous thing ever, which was to train millions of federal employees to psychologically profile their coworkers and then report on them. But many of the things he did was to control the data leaks and anybody talking negatively about him or telling secrets. And,
let me interrupt you. That's not gossip that Tina's talking about. She just documented that with the number of the executive order that he did. So we're not talking about supposition
hearsay.
or hearsay or figment of our imagination. She just documented it.
Well, and I didn't know anything about this until I heard Mark Levin, sorry, I have a little bit of an allergy thing going on today. Anyway, last night I was listening to him, and so he was going through all these, and I haven't had a chance to write down everything he did, but it's something like there was 3 prosecutions for espionage prior to Obama's administration. During the Obama administration, there was 200 plus prosecuted for espionage just because they leaked. They talked to a reporter, or they did this, or they did that, whatever. It wasn't major stuff. It was, the kind of stuff that's been going on in the Trump campaign, the Trump administration, which shouldn't happen at all, but nevertheless, it did. It wasn't like, great big things that were classified that were exposed. And so basically what Obama did was he went in and he weaponized the government, and he used phone records that he took illegally, whichever, and phone records of his employees, phone records of the journalists, reporters, newspapers, individual citizens.
And even more serious, he weaponized the IRS, the strongest, most feared federal agency in the United States. He weaponized that. The lady's name was Lois Lerner. And instead of her getting fired, she was allowed to retire at how much a year? I don't know exactly what that figure is, but she will be very comfortable for the rest of her life as a reward for her being weaponized by Barack Obama to use against the Tea Parties and individual conservative groups. That's what Barack Obama did. Now, maybe he's proud of doing those kind of things as president, but these people that want to criticize every living little thing that Donald Trump has ever done, they never talk about the things that Barack Obama did. Now, why do we not tell the truth about Barack Obama? Was he such a great president? Will he go down in history as being the greatest president? Or do we not criticize him because of his skin color? That's my question. And ask that question honestly of yourself. If you will not accept any criticism of Barack Obama, why don't you? What's your excuse for not accepting the truth about who and what Barack Obama was and what he wanted to do with our country? And we have a caller that's going to answer that question or something. Yeah. Yes, caller, go ahead.
Hey, good afternoon. This is Rick.
Yes, sir.
Hey, did you hear that speech that Barack Obama did?
I couldn't stomach it long enough to listen to it, Rick.
Well, let me tell you, there were so many whoppers in that speech that Burger King ought to hire him or something. I mean, it's just amazing. You know, for one thing, I noticed something about progressives. They like to call this country a democracy.
Yeah.
You know, the only thing, you know, they say something like, you know, like on that speech Obama did, he said, President Trump isn't the only threat to our democracy. He said, apathy is a threat. Now he's right. He's right about the apathy part.
Yeah, I agree with that part of it.
Yeah, but you know, that was a pretty sly little insult on President Trump. You know, he's not the only threat to our so-called democracy. You know, somebody ought
Rick,
to tell him.
If you're very well read at all and you know anything about politics, you know that he stepped in it because this is not a democracy. It's a republic governed by a constitution.
That's what I was getting at. It's a representative republic. He's a constitutional scholar, supposedly. You know, I think Harvard is one of the worst schools. I mean, it's too bad that we have to have Ivy, you know, Yale or Harvard or something like that. That's where all the Supreme Court justices come from. That's where, you know, a lot of these politicians come from. But, you know, President Trump went to some Ivy League schools, but not Yale or Harvard. He went to Penn State or something like that.
Well, and like Columbia, they how many socialists, communists, whatever you want to call them, attended Columbia? I know Bill Ayers did. I think he taught there. I don't know where. I guess a lot of people were connected to Columbia, and you know, I don't. It's really disturbing to me when you see how many people like Barack Obama are praised and they think he's just great. But like I just said, and I'm not biased. I try real hard not to be. But do they love him because of his accomplishments and what he stood for, or do they love him because of his skin color?
I think it's mostly because he's the historically first African American president that we ever had. That's one reason. He's also a very charismatic person. I think he's a cult of personality, sort of like Bill Clinton was. You know, the girls love him. everybody.
And why do they? Yeah, I agree with you, they do, but why do they?
I don't know. I'll tell you one thing. When he says something like, in that speech yesterday, or I don't know if it was yesterday, but I think it was. But he's like saying something like, "Why is it so hard to say that white supremacists are bad? Why is it so hard to say that the KKK is bad?" He says stuff like that, and President Trump, all he said, if you take it in context, he said that on the issue of taking down Confederate statues, there are good people on both sides.
Well, and I would counter that question with, why is it so bad to criticize Black Lives Matter?
Or Muslims.
Or Muslims, or anything that's not white. I mean, if it's any skin color except white, you cannot criticize it. Don't you dare say anything bad about someone of color.
Or how about if I were talking to President Obama, I would say, you know where the KKK came from, don't you? And he'd say, and he'd probably not know. He might not even know himself. I'd say they were formed by the Democrats.
Yes.
And I'd say, Mr. Obama, do you know what the NRA was formed for? And he probably doesn't know that either. I'd say it was formed to teach blacks how to defend themselves against the KKK, and also to teach women how to defend themselves. That was the dual purpose of the NRA right there.
Well, and keep in mind that we're not here to defend the Ku Klux Klan. That's not your purpose or mine either.
No.
But my purpose and yours is tell the truth. You can criticize someone who's a member of the KKK, but you do not dare, not in a million years, you don't dare to criticize someone that's part of the Black Lives Matter.
Oh, do you remember that Democrat congressman or senator Byrd?
Yeah.
He was about as racist as anybody that ever walked the earth, and yet he got a pass because he's a Democrat.
Well, and he was a grand wizard of the KKK, I think. But let me
and he also was famous. I'm not going to say the N-word, but he was famous on an interview TV show for saying that there are white N-words too. He actually said the N-word on TV.
Well,
he said that.
I'll tell you somebody else that said that, and I have quoted him on the Lynn Woolley show. A fellow named Ken Hamlin, which is a black talk show host in Denver, Colorado.
Oh yeah, I remember him.
And he said that, and it's okay because he's black. See, now if I quote him on this show, there'd probably be people that would just have a dying fit. But I'd be quoting a black talk show host when I say those words.
Well, he was a conservative, though, wasn't he?
Yes, he was a very, very good man. I listened to him every day.
Yeah, I think what happened to him was he got frustrated with the business because his contract was all messed up or something, so he just gave up on it, And then Mark Levin took up the practice of playing the national anthem not the national anthem, but that song with Ray Charles.
Yeah.
Mark Levin took up that practice.
Well, I do that every now and then, and I dedicate it to Cal. Now, just for information's sake, for those out there that assume that I'm some kind of a racist or don't like black folks or whatever, let me say that the best sponsor of this show, the best supporter of this show, was a man named Cal from Fort Hood. He was a black retired lieutenant colonel, a doctor, a medical doctor, and a retired lieutenant colonel, and he was a black man. Now, let me say, he was not an African American. He was an American black man.
Oh, that reminds me of my subject that I called about in the first place. President Obama actually claimed credit for the economy that's going on right now.
He's
After remember back when Trump was running for president, Obama said, "What's he going to do? Wave a magic wand
Well,
to get the economy going again?"
if his statement like that, Rick, if that doesn't invoke a big old belly laugh out of everybody, then they're not very well informed. Do you know what the national debt was when he took office?
It was enormous. I know that.
It was $8.5 trillion. You know what it was when he left office?
Mm-mm.
20 trillion. So,
Well, all I know is,
I may be off just a little bit right there, but that's real close to what it was.
It was 21.
And it's 21 trillion. Okay, so
all I remember is him telling us that we're going to have to get used to no growth and no jobs. The factories aren't going to come back. There's nothing you can do about it. You might as well learn to use a computer because that's the only kind of jobs that you're going to get.
I don't understand how they can say this. Trying to find a nice word for it. This sewage that comes out of their mouth, the lies that come out of their mouth, and they think that nobody has a memory or nobody has audio tape. They have no audio recordings of what they said before.
They think we're all dumb.
Evidently.
Well, and Rick, to a degree, they're right. Because
yeah, you're right.
Who they appeal to is, and I've said this before, they appeal to the ignorant masses. And that's why they want to flood the country with more people from Middle Eastern countries, South Central American countries. They don't want to flood this country with people with a college degree. They want to flood this country with people that have about a second or third grade education or no education at all.
Hey, before I go, I'll show you how uneducated some people are. On Facebook, as you know, there's a lot of people who like to bash President Trump all the time, and it gets tiresome, and sometimes I actually get so frustrated by it that I reply to these people. And they don't like it when I do that because usually they can't stand up to logic.
Right.
One day somebody compared Trump to Adolf Hitler, and I just could not stand that. So what I did is I told them that Hitler was actually a radical leftist, and they all started saying that I was delusional, and I gave them facts. And in the end, I shut them all up, and one person said, "True that," because I gave them facts about the first thing Hitler did when he got in power was implemented socialized health care.
Well, see, Rick, when their only defense is a vulgar word, is that who people want to side with? Is that the side people want to be on? What do the people like that and a lot of Democrats, what do they represent? What are they defending? What is synonymous with the Democrat Party? Let me see, the LGBT community, the Muslim community, the abortionists, the list just goes on and on and on. What are the Democrats synonymous with? And
I wonder what they would say, all these liberals, I wonder what they would say if they knew that Margaret Sanger was one of Hitler's heroes and that he really loved her writings, and that's how he came up with...
They need to go see the movie Death of the Nations, what they need to do.
Oh, yeah. I haven't even seen that, and I know that what Dinesh D'Souza says is true, because I have eyes, and I have ears, and I can read, and I just love that guy. Anyway,
well, he addresses this in the movie.
Okay, Rick, we appreciate your call.
Thank you. Bye.
Don't lose the phone number.
I think we got a break coming up. Y'all hang in there. We'll be right back. I hate to interrupt that old rodeo song there because it is true of a lot of people, no joke.
We got a couple of announcements to do.
Yeah, we got a couple of announcements here that Tina's going to handle for us right quick.
One, we wanted to remind everybody that Joe at the Vet Town Housing Project can be reached at Keep Temple Beautiful office at 254-493-4000. And they're having their open house with the first tenant on the 23rd of September. And they're having an open house for the community center on the 27th of September. And then they'll have a ribbon cutting ceremony for the entire project in December. We just don't have a date yet. So again, that number is 254-493-4000. They were looking for volunteers to go and work on Saturdays. I don't know if they still are or not, but if you're interested in helping out the vets, get moved into those townhomes, give Joe a call. Also, voting dates. The last day to register to vote is October the 9th. The first date of early voting in person, that's not by mail, but in person, is October the 22nd. The last day of early voting in person is November the 2nd. The last day to apply for a ballot by mail is October the 26th. And the last day for your ballot to be received by mail, postmarked, is November the 6th. So these are on our Facebook page, and we will continue to post them routinely so that you can have have access to them. And we need you to get out and vote. We need to get the right people in office.
Absolutely, we do. And the one thing that we cannot afford, especially right now, is apathy. For all of you out there who say, well, I'm not worried about it, I'm going to let God take care of it. Yeah, you do that.
Or Trump's so strong he can take them all on. Yeah, no, he needs us.
For those who want to just stand idly by and watch it happen, for those people, that's who's going to help lose this country. So we need to get out there and vote. We need to support good people. We need to support Ted Cruz. And I try to not, get too deep involved, but I'm here to tell you, we've got a Democrat running against Ted Cruz.
He's not a Democrat, he's a socialist.
Well, he's a socialist, communist, I don't know what you want to call
exactly.
him, but he wants open borders. He wants to decriminalize crossing the United States border illegally. He wants to decriminalize that. So, in other words, he wants to allow foreigners to just flood into the United States. What will that do to our country, folks?
He wants ICE gone.
This is so crazy. He wants to destroy ICE, for example. Now, combine that with the folks in California, good Democrats, who want to give free medical care to any illegal in California. Now, I got a question for you. You've heard of unintended consequences. I think I know what that means. Maybe some of you don't. But if Mr. O'Rourke gets his way, and if California gets their way, if you were living in Mexico or Honduras or wherever, and you had a bad illness, and you could get free medical care by wading the river or crossing the border, what would you do? You would come to the United States and get free medical care. What else would you do? If the disease that you have is a communicable disease, tuberculosis, polio, whooping cough, whatever it may be, you would bring that disease with you when you came here.
And these
is that what we want?
These were diseases that were under control and, almost not seen anymore in this country up until the last 5 to 6 years. What does that tell you?
Yeah, our society, this evil old America, has stamped out some of those kind of diseases. Do we want to bring those diseases back into this country?
Yeah, but since they've been showing up in the last 5 to 6 years, what caused them to show up? Obama?
Somebody brought it here. I I don't understand people. I really don't. I keep saying the more I see of people, the better I like my cows. I think them cows are smarter. Uh, I got a rat terrier dog that I think is a lot smarter than than a lot of the people that I see and hear from. I don't understand the way we think anymore. Why, for example, would you want to vote for a Democrat that wants open borders? There are 7.5 billion with a B people in the world. At least half of them would like to come to the United States. If you flood this country with all of those other people, have you ever heard of overpopulation? If you've got 100 acres of land and you really do like red white-faced cows, longhorn cows, whatever kind of cows it is, if you put 10 cows on that 100 acres, they'll do just fine. If you like those cows so well that you put 150 cows on that 100 acres, they're going to starve to death. Do we not understand overpopulation? Do we not understand what would happen to the United States if we flood the country with immigrants? And I hear the argument all the time, well, we're a nation of immigrants. Yeah, we were, folks. When the population here was about 10 million, now it's 330 million.
We don't need any more people right now.
There's a difference. We don't need any more people here. The people that are here, they say, oh, we have to import labor. You wouldn't have to if you raised the labor.
If you taught them work ethic.
If you increase welfare benefits here and you stop anyone's incentive to be labor, then I guess they're right. But, I'll never forget a lady called in to Lynn Woolley one day. And she said she had a solution to all the poor, starving people in Africa. She said there is so much vacant land in Kansas, let's go get all those poor, starving people and put them in Kansas. And she was serious when she said that. I just couldn't stand it. I had to call in. I told Lynn, I said, I think that's a great idea, Lynn. I just got a question for the lady. What are you going to feed them? When you stop growing wheat in Kansas and start growing people, what in the cat hair are you going to feed the people?
Well, and all of the people the majority of the people on welfare in the United States are obese. They eat well. I mean, they eat better than people in other countries who work for a living and make a paycheck. And when they're not taught work ethic. Children are not taught work ethic. Nobody tells them that they have to work for the welfare they get. They don't have to do anything in exchange for it. It's all a free ride. They're not going to do anything.
Well, I was talking to the McClures earlier. We were talking about people and their bias. And, sometimes you're biased. Sometimes you're just truthful. And there's a difference. If I quote facts and figures about certain segments of our population that is helping to destroy this country we live in, then am I biased, or am I just spreading a thing called truth? Have we abandoned truth in pursuit of political correctness? If we have, we made a hell of a bad mistake. And that's what we're doing right now. Now, Eric tells me I'm fixing to make a bad mistake if I don't hush and let him do some advertisement. So y'all don't go away. We'll be back in just a minute. Okay, folks, here we are. We're going to get out of that cotton patch Bob's talking about and get back on this radio talk show. If y'all have something you want to talk about, the phone number here is 254-773-1400. So y'all call in and we'll talk about it, whatever it is.
And don't forget, we need sponsors for this show if you want to keep it on the air.
Yeah.
'Cause it's going to go away real soon here if we don't get some.
Yeah, seriously, folks, if we don't get some more sponsors, this show is going to end, I don't know what.
In a few weeks.
In just a few weeks, this show is going to end. So if we get some more sponsors, I enjoy doing the show, but I cannot financially afford
To pay for it out of
to
your
pay
pocket.
for it out of my pocket.
I mean, we all volunteer to put the show on, but we have to pay KTIM for the airtime.
Yeah, KTM want their money, and
we got a caller.
we got a caller. Yes, caller, go ahead.
Conn, my name's James. We've spoke before, and we figured we'd do it again.
Yes, sir. Go ahead on.
And I was just going to offer some of my perspective to it all.
Okay.
In that the left, as I said, I know a few that are out there on the left, and their intentions are good in that they see something that, makes them feel better about it. But then the problem comes in is that the ignorance of the realistic, this is
the facts.
This is the facts. They can't swallow the facts.
Well,
They choke on the facts.
see, that's why just now when Tina read the executive order that Barack Obama signed, she documented what she said. It was executive order number so-and-so. That's not something she made up. She documented that as a fact. That is a fact that Barack Obama did. He weaponized some federal agencies in our government, just like he weaponized the IRS. So,
Oh, I don't know. I thought we were on a kind of a friendly thing, and then you got to bring him up.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, man.
I need to apologize for that.
Well, we could have talked about the little jag of rain we've had or something.
Yeah,
But no, it's that whole section there. I'm still, the little birds over my head are still going tweet, tweet, tweet. Stars flying. I don't know how that happened.
well,
But then I wanted to mention something. A couple of things, and I'll get off the horn and before I get into what I wanted to share with you, dang it, if it happened that I could be a sponsor, I would be sponsoring.
well, I don't doubt
I
that one
would.
second.
I got some money on the coffee table. You're welcome to come by after the show and we can fill an envelope. But
Well, it's not about the money. It's about the, what you really feel. And I don't like asking for money. I'll be honest with you.
I don't know that. There's not too many people that does.
But
Well, the left does.
well,
And they do it so well.
and the folks that don't.
Yeah. Well, they're willing to spend all the money you can get squeezed out of you on to something that makes them feel good personally,
Well,
whether or not it makes any sense or not.
the folks that own this radio station, I don't know if they're left, right, or in the middle or what, but they have to have their money, and they get it. And but if I don't get it from our sponsor, then they're not going to get it, and we'll go away. So
Well, I know that. That's the truth with most of us. Like if my money goes away, I called you on the cell phone. If the money goes away, then this airway here is going to be dead.
Yeah.
Because I didn't get an Obama phone. I don't.
Well, you missed out on the Obama phone and the car and all those benefits that he was giving to the ignorant masses, the people
Well,
he could
by
buy.
gosh,
He was
know-
buying votes is what he was doing.
I found out I could be pretty ignorant if I'm sitting in to get something for free line.
There you go. There you go.
But anyways, where I was going, two things. That Beto guy, you've seen some signs probably around. You know, Beto for Senate.
Yeah.
And I was on the Facebook thing, and I had a friend put the sign up there, and I can't quote it, but what he said, the gist of it is that when you see someone with that sign, you know, those signs in the yard, then you'll know which neighbors are communist.
Well,
And he went on to say to go to Beto's home site. You know, I looked it up on the web. He's got a you know.
It's quite an
fancy
impressive
website.
page.
What he said, if you read it though, you know, sure, I got, you know, by gosh, I can. We had a lightning storm come the other day, and I had pretty pictures come all over my TV screen, but
Well,
it's the content.
But you know,
It's
you make an excellent point. If you walked up to everyone that's got a Beto sign in their front yard, if you asked them, what does he stand for? What does
They don't have, he's Yellow Dog Democrat.
Yeah, they don't have a clue what he stands for.
I spoke to some people of the Hispanic heritage, and they all are on thinking that, well, yeah, he's Hispanic. You know, that's the Beto thing, the nickname for Roberto.
Well,
That man,
I don't know what
well,
that
anyway,
what that has to do with anything. Anyway, you know, O'Rourke is I think an Irish name. It's not very Spanish.
Right. Well, anyway, let's get off of him real fast. That make my head hurt. But
Well, since you brought up the signs, we still have some Ted Cruz signs. So if anybody wants Ted Cruz signs, they can message us through the Facebook page, and we'll get them to you. We
Yeah.
delivered a bunch this
you
week.
say to do that, you know, some people make things sound real simple, but some of us, we're still, I don't even want to tell you how, with all this tech stuff, just be peacock proud, I called the number on the phone. And you're talking about, you know, go through Facebook and stuff. I don't even know what y'all are on Facebook.
We're Common Sense Con. Common Sense Con. That's
Common
Con
Sense
with
Con.
Yeah, that's Con with two N's.
Yeah.
Right.
Our producer here is telling me that we got 2 minutes to get off this air, so we can do.
Well,
some
then I got
advertising.
one joke for you, and I'll make it quick. This
Yes, sir.
atheist got on this airplane, and he went and got to his seat, and next to where he's going to sit, there's this little girl. She doesn't open up her book, and he, you know, it's his assigned seat, I guess. So he sits down next to her, and he says, "Hey, if you want to have a conversation, I understand it helps the long flight go by fast." So she folds her book shut. She says, "What do you want to talk about?" Well, you know, I mentioned, you know, he's atheist. He said, "Well, let's talk about how there ain't no God, ain't no heaven or hell or nothing after you die." And she said, well, I got a question first. She said, the deer, the cow, and the horse all eat the same thing, but they excrete something different. They all eat grass. The deer excretes these pellets. The cow excretes patties, where the horse excretes clumps. Why is that? Well, that feller, you know, thought about it for a second, marveled how, you know, what an intelligent question from the little girl, and then he conceded, "I don't know." And she said, "Well, seeing that you don't know crap, what makes you feel that you're qualified to talk to the things of God?"
There you go. There you go.
All right, well, we're
Okay.
going to have
Okay.
With that, I'll get off the horn and wish y'all
Okay.
a blessed day. And
Thank
and
you.
we'll,
Thank you
when we
now.
got more time, we'll do it again.
Come on in there with that old Texas swing music. My goodness, I love that kind of old music. I never have gotten used to this modern music with all the very, very loud instruments and all that kind of stuff, but I guess people like it.
54 300 1885. That's 300 1885. And if you need a Ted Cruz sign, you can leave a message there, and we can get a hold of you and make arrangements to meet, or just drop it off to you.
Yeah, another thing, if you see a white Dodge pickup with a Ted Cruz sign on the headache rack, I've got some in the back seat of my truck. In fact, a good man flagged me down yesterday and wanted a Ted Cruz sign, and I got him
You
one.
obliged him.
And yeah, he was a good guy. I may not ought to mention his name, but
You're just meeting all kinds of new friends out there on the side of the road, aren't you?
well, yeah, and you know, one thing about supporting Ted Cruz and good causes like we try to do, you meet some really, really fine people. Some really good, patriotic, freedom-loving, Christian American people.
And you got a new caller.
Yeah, we got another caller. Yes, caller, go ahead on.
Hey, Conn, it's Joe from Temple.
Yes,
Hey,
sir.
Joe.
Just got back from the Veterans Project. We had a busy morning out there today. I'm telling you, man, they worked me to death out there today.
Well, you probably needed it.
Yeah, you're right. I probably lost 5 pounds out there before it started raining and kind of slowed us up a little bit.
Well, we already talked about you today, and we gave your number out last week as well. So we've been thinking
Well,
about you.
Well, good. We didn't work last week because of Labor Day weekend. My wife told me if I didn't take her somewhere that we could get away from the kids and the grandkids, we wouldn't be talking much any longer. So I took her to Brownsville, Texas, and we went to Padre Island, had a wonderful time, and came back to reality of the world. And but today was just a great day. And I did want to mention, too, that on the way back, you know, my wife is Hispanic, so we listened to a Hispanic radio station coming out of San Antonio. And I got to tell you, at least 2 or 3 times every hour, there was a Beto O'Rourke ad, all in Spanish. And I'm telling you, if we are not concerned about this guy getting elected, we better be. Because I'm telling you, that he's going to get the Spanish vote going out there for him.
Well,
So-
and, you know, I hate to say it, Joe, and I probably should apologize to start with, but who does he appeal to? Does he appeal to people like yourself, people that know a little something? Or does he appeal to the, I'll go ahead and say it, does he appeal to the ignorant masses?
Well,
They don't have a clue
I'm
what he
going to
stands
tell
for.
you. Yeah, but I'm going to tell you, he's appealing to more people than me or you
Yeah.
could even imagine. Because my daughter lives on South 7th Street. And I got to tell you, in a 10-block radius, there's got to be, on South 7th, at least 20 of his signs in people's yards. And it's scary. It's scary to me because I think, I don't know, man. It's just, I think this is going to be one of those, we're going to turn around when the election day says, or happens, and say, what do we do wrong? And I'm telling you, what we're doing wrong is not getting the word out.
Not doing anything is what we're doing wrong. It's called
Yeah.
apathy. We're so busy
That's true.
enjoying the football game or the whatever else it is we're doing, some Mickey Mouse something. We're not concerned about saving America. And you know, I keep using the analogy that you don't miss the water till the well goes dry. You're not going to miss freedom until you don't have it. But after
Well-
the America is gone and freedom is gone, you can't get it back, folks. It'll be gone forever.
Well, and again, I will just bring up that that's not going to happen in my lifetime or your lifetime, but it's going to happen in our kids' and our grandkids' lifetime.
Joe,
And that's what we can't seem to get across to people.
well, Joe, I tend to disagree with you. I have worried about it happening in my children's lifetime for years. Now I'm not worried about that because it's going to happen in mine and your lifetime. This election in November is going to start the downfall of the United States. we're not talking about 30 years from now. We're talking about 6 months or a year from now. We're talking about some of the actions that the Democrats are taking. No borders, no wall, no USA at all. In other words, evil over the United States. Let's destroy the United States. Let's confiscate guns. When they get that started, Joe, you're going to see blood in the streets. We're not talking about 30 years from now. We're talking about 6 months from now, a year from now. We're talking.
I would agree. That's when it's going to start. But I think if we don't get it under control right now, starting in November, then it's really, really going to be a challenge.
Well, it really is, and I talk politics every day. Yeah, I admit that. But I talked to a guy the other day at Whataburger, and he kept bringing up, well, this nation is a nation of immigrants, and we need to welcome in all the immigrants and all that. He can't think past the end of his nose. Bring in all of those people that part of MS-13 or part of the Islamic radical jihadists. Bring them all in and then see what happens. You're going to see people lined up in the street being beheaded. You're going to see people, you're going to see violence like you have never seen before in this country. Is that what we
you're
want?
Absolutely right.
No,
we don't. But to end this on a good note, we're actually moving in our first veteran next Saturday on the 15th. He's going to be the first official homeowner of the Veterans Project that we're working on. And it's a great thing, and would love to have you out there if you could. And if not, we understand that because you got a program to do. But it's something again that's progressive and moving forward. But I just wanted to end on a positive situation,
yes.
And that we're doing something positive to make America great again.
Well, and that's why we support you every way we can, Joe. We just need more people just like you, and more organizations like you represent. We have got to stand for something, or we're going to fall for everything or anything. But we that love America had better stand up and be counted, or we're going to lose this country.
Absolutely.
I just told a man this morning at breakfast, I don't scare very easy, but I'm scared now. I'm scared.
Well, there's a lot of reasons
country.
to be scared. Yeah. There is, and unfortunately, we need a whole lot more people like me and you to be scared, and not to wait around for something to happen and then say, well, I never thought that would happen in the United States. Well, it's happening.
Well,
stand up and do something about it.
We were talking a while ago about the Ku Klux Klan and things like that, and not to defend them, but I've got a question for everybody. They demonstrated and burned up Walmart stores in Ferguson, Missouri not long ago. When's the last time you heard about the Ku Klux Klan looting and burning a Walmart store? When's the last time you heard about that?
I couldn't tell you.
It ain't never happened.
Yep.
But who do we condemn? And like I say, I'm not defending them, but I'm just saying, let's keep this in perspective, folks. Why is it okay for one group to loot and burn Walmart stores, and then we criticize the group that is not burning the Walmart stores? We need to keep this in perspective. And I'm not defending either group, but I'm just saying let's tell the truth about things.
Yes, sir.
They criticized Donald Trump for saying that the problem they had in Charlottesville, said there were good people on both sides, and boy, he received a lot of criticism for saying there might be a good person that belongs to the Klan. Oh, heaven forbid, you can't say that. But like I say, when's the last time they burned down a store?
Well, didn't they just burn down the new GOP office in Wyoming 2 days after it opened?
Something like that. So let's look at the Democrat Party and look at the groups that support the Democrat Party.
Well,
Who and what are they?
I'm just gonna end with this, and it's an old saying, but it's so true. United we stand, divided we fall. And
Amen.
if we fall, that's why, because we've been divided.
Well, and the opposition is united. That's what's scaring me. The Beta O'Rourke's and the people like that, they are united. They're united, and their goal is to destroy this country. People like you and I, not you and I, but the right is divided. They're not united. And unless we get united, we cannot defend this republic.
Absolutely. All right, Conn. Appreciate your time, man.
Hey,
Come out next Saturday for the ribbon cutting. I hope to see you there.
if I'm not there, I'll be thinking about you. So.
All right, man. Thanks.
I'd like to mention something. I just ran across a flyer. Not many people have heard about a group called Oath Keepers. They are guardians of the Republic. It's a group that Oath Keepers is a nonpartisan association of currently serving military, reserves, National Guard, veterans, peace officers, firefighters who will fulfill the oath that we swore, with the support of like-minded citizens who take an oath to stand with us to support and defend the Constitution against all enemies, both foreign and domestic, so help us God. Well, how many of us would do that? How many of us would stand up to protect this nation? How many oath keepers are there out there? How many of us even care? I'm like Joe. Folks, we better wake up. We live in serious, serious times. And it's not going to be enough to just sit home and watch your TV or go watch the NFL football game while the football players are kneeling in protest of our American flag. If you want to go watch that, go ahead, but I ain't watching it. I'm kind of like old Merle Haggard. When you're running down our country, man, I got a real problem with that. At any rate, we got
Another call?
got a caller on the line here that's going to get me cheered up, maybe. Yes, caller, go ahead.
Hey, Conn, how you doing today?
Well, I'm doing all right. If I can keep from getting myself stirred up about the danger I see in this country.
Let me give you an idea that I've been thinking about, and just want you to think about it. We as conservatives, we tell people facts, and we research facts and everything. But there's an old saying when you're selling something, facts tell, emotion sells. And that's what the other side does to us. They're very good at emotion. And if you go to like a Beto rally or whatever, he'll gloss over the fact, and then he'll tell a story of some poor soul that did so-and-so, and it's an emotional story, and that's what sells. So my suggestion is let's start talking about what the good things are that are happening.
But it's working for them.
Lowest unemployment rate. We've got, there's 60 different things that are happening right now in the economy that we should be blaring to the world over and over and over and over like the liberals do on their point.
But what he's doing is working. That's what's got me scared, is he's appealing to the ignorant masses, and it's working. Look at all those signs. Look at all those people that support him. It's working.
Listen to what I'm saying.
Okay.
He's appealing to them through emotion, not through facts.
Amen. I agree.
You cannot change somebody's opinion with facts if they did not use facts to form their opinion.
But
I'd say let's, and we can still give the facts, but let's find people with stories. Let's find a person that says, I couldn't find a job in the last 8 years. Now I found a good job, because this economy is booming. And that is what reaches people, not the fact that, remember, facts tell, emotion sells. And that's just wanted to throw that out for discussion.
Well, I'm glad you did, and I I don't mean to be argumentative, but what has got me scared half to death is, their lies and their emotional appeal seems to be working.
Oh,
And
it is definitely. Yes, it's
and
working.
and that is scaring the living hell out of me because I like this country. I don't want to lose this country. I don't
Let
want
me
to see
give you
this
some
country.
good. Let me give you some good news. Here's some good news.
Yeah, I need to hear it.
Cruz is going to win by at least 7 points. It's not even going to be close. And I mean, when and about 6 weeks before the election or 4 weeks before the election, here's what I predict is going to happen. Do you remember shock and awe when we invaded? I believe it was Kuwait. I think Beto's going to wake up to shock and awe because Cruz has not even been campaigning hardly yet because he's been in Congress. When Trump comes down here and rents the biggest venue in Texas and it fills up and people waiting on the outside, and when this campaign really gets underway, Beto is going to experience shock and awe, and you're going to be happy.
I hope, and I say this seriously, I hope and pray that you are absolutely right.
I hope he has a Hillary moment.
And I emphasize the word pray.
Just remember, you heard it here today.
There you go. Well, I'll try to remember that, and I sincerely hope you are dead on right, and I pray that you are dead on right.
Ask somebody to call in that is benefiting from this economy, and let's start telling stories about about the good things that are happening. We can still tell the facts, but if we want to sell, it's got to be through emotion. And I'll hang up and let you.
I thought that was a very great point that you made. Thank you for calling.
It was an excellent point. Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
And Eric is kidnapping us off to break again.
You have a good day.
Well, and don't lose the phone number. Okay, folks, we're going to take a break here in just a moment. Y'all hang in there. We'll be right back. Okay, Bob, you tell them about it. I hate to interrupt a good old Texas swing music like that, but we got a caller we got to talk to. So, caller, go ahead on.
Hey, Con. This is Lee. I've called you before.
Yes, sir.
Hey, that last caller, I think he's right. I think it's going to be shock and awe. I think, I really, you may be pessimistic and everything, but I'm going to tell you right now, everybody I talk to feels the same way I do. And I think it's going to be shock and awe.
Well, I sincerely hope you're right, and I hope he's right. I just, my experience has been that in the past I've had somebody say, I'm going to bring you $10,000 for that bulldozer, whatever it is. And if I keep thinking, boy, I got $10,000 to spend, he's coming, he'll be here tomorrow. If I assume that, and I start spending that $10,000 that I'm going to get tomorrow, I don't know how many times the guy didn't show up, and I had spent some of the $10,000 that I don't get back. So that's why I'm like I am. I apologize for it. We need to be more positive.
No, the problem, your analogy is real good. The only difference is that, let's put another analogy is that, let's say this was your best friend that's buying the truck or whatever he's buying. So these are people that we know who are going to vote. These are Republicans. These are people who are angry. These are people who are just fed up, don't even watch the news anymore because they know what they're going to do, and that's the way I am. I mean, I talk to all my friends. They don't care. They just say, hey, I'm going to go vote, and we're going to put a stop to it, and that's it. I don't watch the news anymore, they say. You know?
And then some of those people may also be afraid to put a bumper sticker on their car or a sign in their yard because they don't want to have vandals, have any kind of vandalism happen and stuff like that.
I think your point is very well taken because just because there's an O'Rourke sign in somebody's yard doesn't mean that somebody is going to vote.
Absolutely.
They may not go vote.
And you know what? They shouldn't have those signs out there anyway. I think it's against the law, isn't it, to have them out there?
Yes, it's too early. It is against the law.
The Democratic Party needs to be called out on that, and they need to pull them up or be fined or something.
But it's a real good point. The Democrats don't care about the law. Only us Republicans care about obeying the law and doing things the right way. They don't care. Democrats will do anything to win. They don't care what it costs to win. Look at Hillary Clinton. Look at a lot of the Democrat candidates. They don't care about truth. They don't care about law. All they care about is winning, and they'll do anything to win. So, but your point is a good one. Not everybody with an O'Rourke sign is going to go vote.
No, they're not. They're not. But your Republicans, your Trump supporters, they're going to go vote. I'll guarantee you that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I really do. Because we're more committed, we're more informed.
We're more angry.
We're more angry. But
yes,
if you're not informed about who and what O'Rourke is and what he stands for, if you're not informed, if you didn't see the news where Antifa was shouting, no border, no walls, no USA at all, if you didn't hear that, then you don't remember what they stand for and what their goal is. And
absolutely, yeah.
And that's got me worked up and disturbed and about.
Well, I think we'll get the ads out and stuff like that. I think, like you said, Ted Cruz is tied up in Washington. He's working, so there'll be plenty of time for all that to happen. But I wanted to say one more thing before I go.
Yes, sir.
I was watching when President Obama came out yesterday. You saw all the Democrats all giddy and jitty and things like that. They were just tickled pink. But, I watched a couple of them today on Fox News. She said, well, I was happy yesterday, but now that I see that he's firing up the Republican base, and I don't think it's a good idea for him to come out. She's been reading a lot of the headlines. So I don't know if he's going to be coming out very much. I wish he would, because I would love to see the debate between him and Trump. but I really think she's going to pull back. I'll mark my word. I'll call you up next week and see if I'm right on that.
Yeah, do that. But, the thing about him debating Trump, the same ignorant masses that we're talking about that are supporting Obama, would they know the difference? If he lies like a dog, do they know the difference or do they care? Like him talking about Trump is taking advantage of the great economy that he started. Well, that lying dog, but how many people recognize and care that it's a lie?
Well, don't cut the people of this country short that are Republicans, because they see right through it. I'm telling you, and even the independents see right through it. And just because the mass media is making us say, hey, no, look at it this way. No, we saw that during the 2016 election. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, and I sincerely hope that we win by 7 points or 70 points in the cruise race. And in every race, and we are winning some of these races that the Democrats assumed that they won, and all of a sudden they didn't. So
yeah. And don't forget the October surprise that may be coming out this week or next week. You know what that is, right?
Tell me.
Okay, that's the FISA.
Report.
There you go.
Yeah.
The FISA.
Oh yeah.
The release of the FISA thing. I think that's I think that's his ace in the hole. He's been holding it as long as he can, and I think he's got to release it this next week.
Oh, you're talking about the declassification?
Yeah, declassification. Yes.
Well, there's also the report that's coming out, and because they did the Hillary email report, now they have the FISA report that's coming out, and then there's one other one from the man that Sessions employed to do the analysis.
Houseworth or whatever his name is. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Ask you a question. I'll ask all of us in our listening audience. What responsibility do we have when that FISA report comes out and we see all the lies and all the shenanigans? Do we have a responsibility to talk to our neighbors or our friends, whoever, that don't really understand what they're hearing? Don't we have a responsibility to say, listen, look at what really happened here? When you hear Obama talk about what a great economy he had, do we have a responsibility to say, well, the truth is we were down $8.5 trillion when he came in. When he left, we were down $20 trillion. How much responsibility do we have to spread the truth about these kinds of things?
Absolutely, and I think what you do is what I do all the time is I'm just one voice, but what I can do is I get on Facebook, and I just use Facebook just to tell all my friends about that. I don't put pictures of myself or the great things or the good things I'm doing or where I'm going. I just strictly use it for politics, and I think that's one of the things that we need to encourage people to do is use Facebook, Twitter, that stuff.
But we need more people just like you, who are your selfless in your efforts to try to save this country.
Oh yeah.
You and I don't do this to make money. We do this to try to save the republic for our children.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I'm going to tell you what, if the Democrats take control, like you said, it's all over there. But I'm positive. I really am. Whenever the 2016 election, I was pretty sad because me and my mother went to bed. She told me, I called her up. She says, oh, it's all rigged. He's going to lose. And next morning we wake up and we're all happy. I'm not going to fall for that again. I'm going to be very optimistic again.
Yes. And sometimes optimism spreads.
Yes.
It's like one of the goals that I have for this program. If I use one sentence that affects your life or somebody else's life, and then you use that same sentence to affect 10 other people, then we've done what we should be doing.
Yeah, but anyway, I'm going to go, but I'm going to say, keep your head up high, don't give up, and I really think it's going to be a shock and awe. I really do.
I have a question before you get off the phone. Are you listening to us by radio, or are you listening to us by stream on your computer?
I listen to you I ride my bike, and my bicycle, for exercise. And I listen to you whenever I ride my bike on streaming on my mobile phone. I also listen to you on the radio when I'm at home cleaning the house.
Okay, well, I was just wondering because we were wondering if we were still on the air with the radio or, because I know that we're streaming okay, but we didn't know whether the radio was still airing the show or not.
Yeah, I'm listening to you on the radio.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Well, I got hit by lightning earlier, and so they've been trying to repair it, so we were just checking.
Oh, okay, no problem.
Okay, great.
Well,
Thank you.
And we appreciate you listening, and we appreciate your call.
Yeah, I'll call you up next week and let you know. Thank you, Conn.
Okay, you be careful out there. Don't get run over on that bicycle. Okay, folks, we're back to, I need to recognize a few more sponsors. One I need to talk about is Extreme Hose over on General Bruce Drive. Extreme Hose is at 5300 South General Bruce Drive. Extreme Hose is somebody, old Frank over there. I use him a lot repairing hydraulic hoses. I've got a cylinder over there right now he's working on for me. He does a real good job. He will get it in and get it out. And I like that because I don't want to wait a month to get something back. At any rate, his phone number over there is 254-231-3403. That's 254-231-3403. Call over and talk to old Frank. If you got a hose on your tractor or your excavator, whatever it may be, he will fix that hose, give you a new one, and he'll do it quick, fast, and in a hurry. He's got 20 years of experience doing hydraulic hoses, and they got hydraulic adapters, and they got all kind of stuff that's hydraulic. So go over there and see Extreme Hose on General Bruce Drive. He's a good guy and a good supporter of this show. Another one I want to speak about just a little bit is Nolanville Disabled Vet, Nolanville DAV, up there in Nolanville. Old Greg Dunham and his wife, they just do an excellent job at trying to help disabled vets, or I might say disabled vets' spouses. If one of them passes away, the other one is confused or whatever, the Nolanville DAV is a good place for them to go. So Greg Dunham and them boys, they're doing a good job up there. If you need any help from the Nolanville DAV, that phone number is 859-620-0879. That's 859-620-0879. Now they are located in Nolanville at 4601 East Avenue H. That's in Nolanville. So if any of you veterans need a little help there, well, go by and see old Greg. He'll dadgum sure help you. Another one I want to talk about just a little bit real quick here is Bill Schumann. He is the commissioner of Precinct 3 here in Bell County. He is a very, very good supporter of this show and a very good supporter of freedom. And I just think the world of him. So whenever he runs for something, it doesn't matter if he runs for county commissioner, dog catcher, or governor. We sure want to support Bill Schumann. Just want to appreciate him. Okay.
You got a caller on the line.
Something else I want to say really fast, and then I'll take the caller. If you don't belong to the NRA, if you've got a gun and you love freedom, you need to belong to the NRA. Their phone number is 703-267-1000. I would suggest to any and everybody out there, we need to support the NRA because they are under an assault more than they have ever been in their history. So if you want to join the NRA, call 703-267-1000. Okay, I think we got a caller. Yes, caller, go ahead.
Good afternoon, Conn. This is AC.
Yes, sir. What are you up to?
I'm enjoying especially the last two very positive callers. I want to continue that vein, if you don't mind.
Yes, sir.
I really appreciated, of course, recognize the voice of Elwood, the first positive caller here. And I want to tell you, since Elwood and you and McQuarrie Bookstore and HP Audio and the rest of the sign team, who's only had these signs since it's been legal to put them out, and you can explain that to your listeners later. Last week, it's now about a 20-to-1 ratio on sign placements west of Temple. That's a fact. And facts are pesky little things. They just jump up, you know.
Yeah, but we like facts on this show.
We deal in facts, and we deal in truthfulness, you know, and the other side is not encumbered with those little restrictions, you know.
Yeah, like putting out the signs. They don't care about the law, but they have violated the law big time. But they don't care about the law. They don't care about truth. And that's why I talk about it so much. We need to stand for truth. And the Republicans do and the Democrats don't. Simple as that.
Well, the last caller, I didn't get his name. I was taking care of a little business here. I do that in between talk shows. I certainly have enjoyed yours. Do you know who that last caller was?
I do not, AC. He was a new caller, first-time caller.
Well, he's got it right. He's got it right. And now that Trump's going to be here, and like I say, the law, we can put it out. It's 60 days. A lot of people aren't aware of that. There's state, county, municipality rules about putting out signs, and they're important to our party. Free love and nickel beer parties, they don't care. They think the law is for everybody else. They can get by with murder, since some of their leaders have been getting by with all kind of criminal acts. But I want to thank you for your show. You're doing a good job. I would advise the positive trend. I'd stay positive. The lies about the signs, that's all they are. There aren't that many signs. Sure, there's 3 or 4. When that's the only ones out there, that sounds like a lot. But when signs are available, like I'm going down Monday or Tuesday, I'll pick up another 400 or 500, and the 4x4s. When you see those out, you say, why was I even worried about the veto signs? You know, it's 20-to-1 ratio. That's good.
Well, and it's like, to prove your point, I stopped and picked up 50 signs not long ago, and it took 3 days for me to get them all out. So, you know, people do want the signs, and people do support Ted Cruz.
Now, did I hear Tina say earlier, y'all do have a few signs left there?
Yes, we've got maybe 6 or 8 or 10 left.
Well, check with me no later than Tuesday, because I will have access to another bundle or so.
Right, I will. And I appreciate all of your effort in these regards, supporting Ted Cruz and whatnot. We need more good supporters of good politicians, just like Ted Cruz.
And Eric has taken us away again to another break.
Yeah, Eric is telling me to shut up. He's got to advertise. So
they will be at HP Audio next Tuesday.
Okay, appreciate it, right. AC. Be careful.
Good luck.
Y'all hang in there. We'll be right back, folks. Okay, folks, here we are back on the air. Let me talk just a little bit about Elite Auto out there on 2305 west of town. That's Tommy Vaughn and his crew out there. They work on foreign cars, domestic cars, any kind of cars, and they do a very fine job. They're just good people. They know what they're doing. They are very qualified to work on your automobile. If you need one worked on, his phone number is 780-5596. That's area code 254-780-5596. He's out there on 2305 west of town, and they're just good people, do good work. Another one I want to mention is Alpha Hydraulics. He's over there in Spiegelville. His address is 8468 North Highway 6 in Waco. He's actually not in Waco. He's out on Highway 6 in Spiegelville. But at any rate, if you got a hydraulic motor, impact, whatever it might be that's hydraulic, they can work on it. And we'll, like your pavement breakers, things like that on an excavator or a backhoe, they can repair those things, and they do a very good job. Call up Larry over there at Alpha Hydraulics, and his phone number is 254-848-9981. That's 254-848-9981. That's Alpha Hydraulics. Do a good job. So give them a holler if you got something hydraulic that needs working. Now I keep forgetting to advertise for myself. But this show has got to have some more sponsors if we're going to continue this show. So if you know someone that wants to be a sponsor, the phone number to call is 300-1885.
That's 254.
That's 254-300-1885.
We got a couple more weeks here and of the show, and
yeah,
if we don't
we
get
got
some
about
sponsors,
2 or 3 more weeks, and if we don't get some more sponsors, there ain't gonna be no more show. So
and we don't know what's going to be filling this airtime. So if y'all want to continue to be able to call in and commiserate and all that and celebrate, then we need to get some sponsors in here.
And I just might say, I really do appreciate our callers and our sponsors.
We've met such wonderful people for the last 2 years the show's been on the air. I mean, some of those people have just been fabulous.
Well, they have been. And I never dreamed that I would ever be a talk show host, and I guess I'm not a very good one, but I have thoroughly enjoyed the opportunity to do this, and I will continue to do this, but we got to have some sponsors. Right now we got a phone call. Yes, sir, go ahead on.
Good evening, Conn. It's Bill from Temple.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Are you ready for me to make you mad?
Well, it don't take much to do that. So.
Well, I sort of figured out why these Democrats want to open borders, and they want them a voting age, where they can launch them and feed them and then load them up, take them down to vote. And they saying there's a shortage of workers, but if they wouldn't kill 1 million babies in the womb every year, we'd have enough workers, I think, by now.
Well, the black population is finally realizing what a threat that illegal aliens and supposed, quote, immigrants are to their entry-level jobs for their young black men that are coming of age and learning how to work and learning a work ethic and joining the workforce. And they finally are seeing them as a threat. But it's been very slow in coming.
Well, and let me explain one more time what I'm talking about. We're not raising workers, and the reason we're not raising workers is, just for an example, one segment of our society, 75% of the children do not have a father in the home.
the father is who teaches young men and girls to work. Okay, the reason the father is not in the home is the mother of those children, if there's no father there, the mother can draw $637 a month. And they
Thank
can
you, the
do that
Democratic
times
Party.
4. She can do it times 4. That's $2,500 a month, roughly. But it doesn't stop there. She can get food stamps, Section 8 housing, all kinds of benefits. So why would the father want to stay in the home? But we are not raising workers. We're raising welfare recipients. And, you know, where's that taking our country?
But a lot of this, you know, even with I can't believe that Waco Independent School District went to Title I, but where they're feeding the kids all day long. But a lot of this may change if Trump gets this passed, where he sends out, instead of a food stamp card, he sends out a food box, and it's delivered to them, and that's all they get is the fundamental staples. And then they have to be drug tested, and then they have to do some kind of community service or have some kind of job training or something to be able to continue to collect any kind of welfare.
Well, and I could not agree more with him doing that, because they have found the Lone Star card, the Lone Star welfare card, showing up in Las Vegas and all kind of places.
Well,
So,
buying lobster and shrimp and beer.
yeah, it's you know, we all want to help those who can't help themselves. You know, that's the Christian way of doing things. But we have taken this to the ridiculous, idiotic, bitter end when you are using welfare to encourage people to draw welfare, when you're making it attractive to be on welfare. Where's that road take us? What's the end result of that, Bill?
Well, that just puts them in one spot where the Democrats can load them up and take them down to vote.
Yeah. See, that, and that ought to be illegal. If you don't have gumption enough to go down there and vote, then I guess you don't need to vote. But they're rounding up, you know, and they have cases of people who have registered and voted numerous times. They've got illegal aliens voting. California now is encouraging illegals to vote. So much of that stuff is going on that
106-year-old dead people in New York vote.
and I think they're telling me that we've only got 3 minutes left in this show. Boy, this 2 hours sure does go by fast. Man.
Glad you vote.
Yeah.
Talking. Bye-bye.
Bill, be careful out there. Well,
Did you hear about not to start a whole brand new subject at the end of the show, but and I don't know what state it was. I think the person that was doing the show, excuse me, guest hosting the show for Rush, maybe he was from Seattle. I'm not sure, and he was saying that in that state that that if you wanted to buy a semi-automatic pistol or any semi-automatic, that you then gave away your HIPAA rights.
Gave away your what rights?
Your HIPAA rights, your medical rights. And then the same thing, that they're trying to do that same thing in California as well. So, I mean, this is something that's coming up on that we need to start taking a look at maybe next week. And I'll try to do some research into it. But I was just, are you kidding me?
Well, but we need to understand if they can't legally abolish the Second Amendment,
right,
they'll come in the back door. They'll do anything they can do
banking,
to get your gun,
medical, whatever. Yep.
For example, if you have some different prescriptions, that allows them to come in and take your guns. So we need to be aware of how close we are to losing gun rights, First Amendment rights, constitutional rights. And I'm telling you, folks, you're not going to miss the Constitution until it's gone. After it's gone, you won't get it back.
If you need to reach us for sponsorships, ads, or Ted Cruz signs, it's 254-300-1885.
Okay, another day is gone. Another Saturday is gone. Y'all tune in next Saturday, and we'll do this again from 12 till 2. And let me say, I really do enjoy and appreciate this time on the air. And I hope and pray that y'all do also. So until next Saturday, we'll catch up to you later.